A lot of people aren't just tired, they're burnt out from performing steadiness, usefulness, and emotional control all day long. While their nervous system keeps running, long after their mind is done, it is 11 p.m., the television is still flickering. Your shoulders are still up near your ears, and your cat jumps onto the far end of the couch, like they have somewhere better to be. One slow circle, a soft drop beside your thigh. Then the part that stings more than most people admit. They turn their whole back to you. No grand welcome, no face lifted toward yours, no cinematic purr. Just a warm spine aimed at your chest. Ears loose, tail tip moving once every few seconds, while your brain quietly starts writing the wrong story. So this is transactional. I'm a heated cushion with a food budget. That lands harder at the end of a long day, because you've already spent 12 hours reading people, performing competence, answering messages, adjusting your tone, staying available. By night, even a cat not facing you can feel weirdly personal. The same thing happens at 6:40 p.m. When the front door closes behind you and the keys hit the bowl. Your cat appears in the hallway, brushes the wall once, comes close enough for their flank to skim your ankle, then stops a couple of feet away and faces the room instead. You say their name. They don't rush into a reunion scene. They don't stare up with open, obvious devotion. They sit there like nothing needs to be proven. Then there is the 3 a.m. version, which is quieter and somehow more intimate. You wake, roll over, and find your cat near the pillow, with their back pressed lightly toward your arm, and their face pointed into the dark room. Not curled into your chest, not asking, not flattering. Just there, half resting, half listening, like they chose your orbit without making a show of it. A lot of people look at these moments and think distance. If they loved me, they would face me from down where a cat lives, 10 inches off the floor. Your face isn't the headline. Your body is. The air around you is. Humans keep looking for social proof. Eye contact, bright reaction, obvious affection. A cat is running a different system, not performance. Signal clarity. Is the room predictable? Is that large animal breathing in an even rhythm? That is why the smallest choices matter so much. The seat beside your leg instead of across the room. Staying after you move on the couch. Resting close enough to register the rise and fall of your body. Without staring at your face, those aren't random placements. Sleep makes this even sharper. A sleeping cat isn't being cute. It is temporarily giving up surveillance. Eyelids lowered, muscle tone softened, reaction speed reduced. Hearing still on, but no longer sweeping at full intensity. And your body is giving off data the whole time. Breath length, heat, heart rhythm, familiar scent, tiny pressure changes in the cushion when you exhale. So when a cat angles its spine toward you, or settles with its side near your thigh, that posture isn't indifference. It is a very specific calculation. I don't need visual control of this organism every second to remain safe here, which sounds clinical, almost cold, until you realize how high that threshold really is. When that small body finally goes heavy against you. Heat is the least interesting part of the event. The real shift is physiological. A cat doesn't relax its abdomen, let the hind legs spill open, or let the neck briefly lose tone, unless the threat calculation has changed. That softening isn't just being cuddly tonight. It is a nervous system making a costly decision. Vulnerable tissue no longer has to be guarded at full capacity. In plain terms, your body has been logged as safer terrain, not perfect safety. That is why sleeping beside you night after night matters more than the dramatic moments people chase. Repetition changes the map. In stress biology, the brain is always updating prediction. What spikes cortisol? What keeps the HPA axis humming? What lets it power down? Your cat isn't writing you a human love note. It is assigning your presence a lower allostatic load. A living nervous system becomes part of the territory, a place where the sympathetic nervous system doesn't need to patrol every second. And for a person who has spent the whole day performing, bracing, answering, monitoring, there is something almost brutal about being accepted at that level. Even the licking people romanticize has a colder mechanism underneath it. That rough tongue across your wrist or cheek isn't just affection translated into fur. It belongs to an old mammalian program: allogrooming, scent transfer, repetitive touch arousal regulation. Early grooming in kittens helps stabilize the stress response. In adults, the pattern still supports downshifting, reducing sympathetic charge and giving parasympathetic recovery. Through the vagus nerve, a better opening, the head bump, the cheek press, the pass around your ankles, are built the exact same way. Facial pheromones around the cheeks and forehead aren't decoration. So if your cat stopped sleeping near your shoulder, stopped pressing a cheek into your shin, stopped doing that tiny pass-by rub everyone online treats, like a verdict, don't turn that into a character judgment about yourself. Not yours, not theirs. A feline body isn't writing a review of your love. It is updating a safety map in real time, with inputs your human brain barely notices. The new detergent on your sweatshirt. And that matters because people carry a strange private guilt around cats. You replay the missed evenings, the long shifts, the moments you were too tired to notice them in the doorway. But cortisol isn't a moral opinion. The HPA axis isn't punishing you for being imperfect. If a cat changes distance, timing, pressure, or routine, that can reflect allostatic load, sensory uncertainty, body tension in the room, even subtle shifts in smell and vibration. You were looking for affection in the shapes. Humans trust. Eye contact, enthusiasm, visible need, repetition. Your cat may have been speaking in a different channel entirely. Proximity without touch, scent exchange, shared orientation, leaving instead of escalating. So no, this isn't proof that you failed them. It doesn't mean you were too late, too busy, too clumsy, too broken to be their person. It means two different nervous systems have been trying to meet across two different biological languages. And sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself is stop grading the bond by what it doesn't look like and notice what it still is. Tonight, do less than you want to do. Just this: sit on the floor for 2 or 3 minutes and let your body stop performing. Phone down, hands quiet, shoulders unlocked. No calling their name, no patting your leg, no leaning forward like you need an answer right now. Become the most predictable thing in the room, and then watch what your own system does first. Does your breathing get a little longer after 30 seconds? Do your shoulders drop half an inch? Does the mental replay of the day loosen for one clean moment? Does the room feel less like a task list and more like a place your body has actually arrived in? That counts even before your cat moves, because this was never only about decoding them. It was also about how exhausted a human nervous system can get from trying to read love through performance. Your cat often interrupts that in a way people don't. No script, no review, no demand to be on. Just shared space, clean signals, low pressure, a tiny pocket of co-regulation. And if your cat comes closer, don't upgrade the moment into meaning too fast. Maybe they loaf 3 feet away. Maybe they blink once. Maybe they arc around you and keep the doorway open. Good. That isn't a failed interaction. If this kind of pet interaction brings you back into your body, that isn't weakness. It is your nervous system recognizing a form of connection that lets it recover without performing. Then come back and tell me what happened, not whether it was cute. Tell me the distance. Tell me if they stayed near the exit. Tell me if your breath changed.